When I was first going on my journey, my first year alcohol free, I made so many epiphanies. I found so much discovery about myself, about my relationship with alcohol, about what I really wanted with my life. I was learning so much. My mind expanded so much that year with the knowledge, the insights, the reflections, the introspections. I really grew as a person. But you know what happened? I was doing it alone. I was doing it alone. None of my other friends, my family, my husband, nobody else had any understanding of what I was going through. And so by the time I was going between my third and fourth month on my journey of my break, I decided I needed to be able to talk about this with somebody else. I needed to be able to share the epiphanies and the realizations and the great just joy that I was discovering alcohol free with somebody else. And so if you're finding yourself in a similar situation, if you're asking yourself, where do I find more like-minded friends? Where can I find someone I can talk to about this? Where can I find people who will share this journey with me? You are at an excellent, excellent place because it means that you're hungry for connection. It means that you're hungry for some real, honest vulnerability and being able to talk about something that has for so long been a taboo topic. Now, maybe your friends are drinkers, or maybe they just don't understand because they're not going through it with you, and doesn't mean they're bad people, doesn't mean that they're not growing themselves in other ways, but maybe you're finding yourself as the only one taking a break in a room full of everyone else going about their lives. And it can feel really challenging, especially this year with COVID. How do you branch out and meet new people who are on the same journey of growth as you are? So, let me just tell you what I did, and then I'm going to give you some tools that you can use to hopefully find your new alcohol-free friends for 2021. When I was about 3 months alcohol-free, I first went on meetup.com. And I remember, maybe it was 2 months actually, I remember searching for like sober groups or alcohol-free groups, and I actually didn't even find anything. I live in San Diego, so it's a pretty big city, so that kind of made me a little sad, but I also remember I kept looking. So the next month I looked again, and this time I found a meetup that was hosted at a coffee shop. And it was for alcohol-free people, and I went to it, and it was interesting. I met some new people, I talked about different things, and it was kind of cool. And then the next week, my husband actually found this Reddit thread, I guess, and it was saying that a woman was starting a new alcohol-free women's meetup in San Diego, and he pointed it out to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just have to go. I ended up going. It was a brunch. About maybe 5 women went, and next to me was someone named Danielle who hosted the event. And Danielle and I had a very, very, very similar journey with alcohol. We were just about within our first 3 to 4 months alcohol free. We both read the same books. We both really expanded our own ideas and insights about ourselves, what it means to have a complicated relationship with alcohol, how it's not you, but really the effect of an addictive substance in a society that conditions us to drink it all the time. And we just bonded right away. Now, here's the thing that I did differently with that relationship that I had never done before. As an adult, I was always waiting for people to become my friend, to become friends with me, to ask me to go to things, to invite me places. I wasn't ever the person who initiated it. You know, I grew up as an introvert and kind of shy, and even as a child, I totally had this expectation that other people will make friends with me if they like me, not that I should actually try and make friends with other people. It's kind of, I can see how twisted it is, but you know, I was just always waiting for someone to ask me or invite me somewhere. And with this relationship, I completely turned it on its head. I met Danielle this one time, and just within a week, I asked her if she wanted to go out for kombucha, which was just so outside of my norm, so outside of my comfort zone. And so we went, we bonded some more, and the rest is history. She's my podcast co-host. Our couple, our husband and her partner, we hang out all the time. We travel together. We love spending time together and relishing not only the personal growth journey we're having together, but also the fact that we're alcohol free. She has grown her meetup extensively since then. There's over 600 women in her meetup, and just about every week with co-organizers, she's got something going on in San Diego for women to join. So that's the power of Meetup. Meetup.com has so many possibilities for finding like-minded people. And so that was how I branched out, and I met, other women through that. I hosted my own events called Mind Bar before the pandemic. We would do these mocktail soirees in San Diego, and I would just meet incredible women there. I remember really, really strongly making a lot of friends on the internet. So let me share with you how you can do it today. So first of all, let's just go with the meetup example. I know that there's probably less events going on right now because of COVID, but especially if you live in a big metropolitan city, go to Meetup and just type in the words alcohol-free or sober or recovery and see what's there. Maybe there's a group there that maybe hasn't met this year but will be. You could even reach out to the organizer and start talking to them. Just introduce yourself. Just like reach out to people who live in your city. You never know what you guys could even plan together. So join one of those groups, start talking in the chat. If they're having live events or Zoom events, like attend those events. If you find that there's nothing in your city, or maybe you live in a more rural or just like less populated area, what if you were the first one to start a meetup like that? What if you started a women's or men's or whatever you want alcohol-free meetup, and you did social events or yoga or book club or something like that? What if you actually did that? Danielle formed her own meetup because she literally didn't see what she wanted out there, so she created it herself. And I know so many women in this euphoric community have done the same thing. They've started meetups and communities in their own cities so they can start making new alcohol-free friends and really expand like the message and the movement in so many ways and inspire so many other people. So if you're curious about starting your own meetup, my friend Danielle has really great resources on that. We actually recorded a podcast episode. It's Euphoric the podcast called Mind Bar and Finding Your Own Community, which will really kind of teach how to form your own meetup and just some top tricks and tips and tricks about that. Okay, next idea, online. So I made so many alcohol-free friends online. Most of them I haven't met in the real life yet, but I plan to. And some of them I have. And it's incredible how rich these friendships have like blossomed. And we literally just met on Instagram. It's kind of crazy to me. There's so much happening online. And so first of all, this group, there's almost 1,000 women in this group and some awesome men that you can start like branching out and talking to. Maybe you guys already have some friendships within here. But after this video today, I'm going to post a question just to ask where everybody lives, and we can start like seeing where people are close to us. Like I know there's tons of people who live in certain cities like Denver and Chicago and LA and New York, right? Like we can find each other here and start talking and start like making friendships from that. Another great idea is Instagram. There are so many sober, alcohol-free influencers on Instagram. And when you go to their pages, you'll see all the people who follow them are also like wanting to be alcohol-free or are alcohol-free, and they talk in the comments and they make friends with each other. Like just following people who are alcohol-free is a way to form friendships and start talking in the comments or the DMs. I've met so many people that way, and then we ended up collaborating on something cool, or we ended up sharing our messages together, or we met in real life, or I talk to, to this day about being a coach and working in kind of this industry. It's so, so cool. So Instagram's great because unlike Facebook where you're like, your name is attached to everything, and like back in the day, remember 4 years ago where every time you liked something, it showed up as an update for someone else, like your partner, you're like, what? Why is Facebook telling me everyone what I'm doing? Instagram's not really like that, right? Like you can have a lot more anonymity. You could even like start a new alcohol-free account if you want to. Totally up to you, but if that's what you want to do to have more kind of just freedom with it, like that's always an option, and you can just start commenting and meeting people that way. And it seems kind of silly like making friends on Instagram, but one of my really dear friends, her name is Chelsea, she used to live in Vietnam, right now she's in Mexico. We met on Instagram. I talk to her every single week, and we literally met on Instagram. Like it's crazy what social media can do in the positive sense. So another then idea is to look out for other groups or environments that totally cater to an amazing, holistic, healthy lifestyle. So for example, I love the personal growth space. I am into high performance. I'm into the spiritual growth. I'm into like mind-body connection. I'm into, really growing yourself outside of your comfort zone, success mindset, all that kind of stuff, law of attraction. And when I go into those environments, do you know how often I meet non-drinkers there? Because when you're trying to improve your life, when you're trying to really strip yourself to be just your intrinsic self and authentic and go for your dream life, there's really no room for alcohol in that equation, right? Not the kind of drinking that's like withdrawing you and having you play safe in your comfort zone. Those kind of people are also growing themselves, and they're growing themselves outside their comfort zone. And so everywhere, every single time I've ever gone to a personal growth conference or like an event or some kind of seminar, I will always meet non-drinkers there every single time. Always, 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 always. So like, it's so interesting. Like, it doesn't even have to be an alcohol-free, technically, environment. Like, you could find that. You know, other ideas for spaces that might cater to that are like yoga or meditation spaces, or maybe even running groups or hiking groups. You know, you never know, but like these kind of spaces that really value health and growth, I bet you there's non-drinkers in those kind of spaces. And you know, in the personal growth space, like another great idea is group programs. So group programs, like a group coaching program, for example, like I've met friends there that I've now like been so near and dear to me. We went through the same growing experience together. We learned together. We had the same kind of challenges and opportunities and wins and epiphanies. And I've made so many dear friends just from doing group coaching programs. And this January 25th, I'm starting a group coaching program here within Euphoric. We're going to do Become Euphoric as a 10-week program with calls every single week, accountability buddies. We're going to get to know each other so well. We're going to find out each other's enneagrams. We're going to find each other's horoscopes. It's going to be super, super fun, super, super holistic, and really bring out the best of us. And I totally know that we're going to make lifelong connections in this group. So if you're interested in doing a group coaching program for you to find like deeper connections with just incredibly inspiring women, I totally encourage you to check that out as well. Because for me, group coaching programs are also an amazing way, and or masterminds, to find other like-minded people. So there you go. I know it's totally a little different now with COVID. There's really less live events, but you know, even before COVID, there were like mocktail pop-ups in my city. There were I was hosting an event called Mind Bar, which was literally like an alcohol-free meditation and mocktail experience for women. There's stuff going on in this space, and you never know what's happening until you go look. Like, for example, I had a client ask me about like making some alcohol-free friends, and I literally looked up her city, and that day there was like a mocktail bar opening up in her like neighborhood. You literally have no idea what's happening, because this movement is growing more and more and more. And every year and every month that passes, this movement will just get better, because people want presence, people want health, people want real connection, people want to be inspired, people want to feel good. And we know that alcohol just lowers our natural happiness neurotransmitters. We want to feel good naturally. We want to have true growth in our lives. So the alcohol-free movement is just going to continue and continue to grow. And you have no idea what might be happening in your city. For example, before COVID, Daybreaker used to host these incredible raves. They're alcohol-free raves that happened in the morning, and they were spiritual, and there was yoga, and there was dancing, and it was primal, and everyone had a great time, and there was not a drop of alcohol involved. And Daybreaker isn't even necessarily considered like an alcohol-free movement, like, you know, like in this kind of space. It just believes that alcohol does not need to be involved when you're really tapping into your primal self through the art of dance. Like, so there's so many different ways and possibilities and creative ways to find this kind of community. So just to recap, we got meetups. So check out meetup.com, check and see if there's any alcohol-free meetups in your area. Even if they're not doing events right now, reach out to the organizer and just start talking to them. Just start to make friends and branch out. In this group, I can bet you there's someone who lives near you. I'm going to start a thread right after this to ask people what city they're all from, and start like talking, start asking each other questions, start like, if there's people in your area, you guys could always start chatting more often, and maybe even one day meet in real life. Instagram is a great one. So on Instagram, there's so many different alcohol-free accounts. You can really make friends not only with the account owner, but like really in the comments, like make friendships there. I've made so many friends through Instagram. And then lastly, also group coaching programs. Like, there's such a great option to really make lifelong connections. And if you're interested in starting Become Euphoric January 15th, please DM me. I'd love to see you there. Oh, and then the fifth one also is like-minded groups that might not be alcohol-free in their title or in their name, but you will find a lot of non-drinkers there because the focus is on growth or health. So for example, personal growth kind of events or conferences or spaces, health ones, hiking ones, yoga, running, whatever it is, holistic kind of stuff, spiritual growth. I mean, it's really usually odd to have someone who's so invested in spiritual growth and talking about their chakras and all that kind of stuff and then want to go obliterate their consciousness for 4 hours later, right? It's really incongruous. So you will find, not always, but you will find not drinkers in those kind of communities. So thank you so much for joining. Ned is here to say he's going to start his own alcohol-free meetup in 2021. Woo! I'm so excited for that. That is so cool. You know, especially for men too, like there's such less options, I think. So like being like a cool leader in that is going to be super fulfilling, super rewarding. And Daybreaker virtually, yeah, I know I haven't done the Daybreaker virtual now, but it's such a cool concept because I truly think that we have been so married to the idea of like letting loose and dancing with alcohol. It almost robs us of our own primal wildness, you know? And like being able to tap into your own like wild woman or wild man just on your own, it kind of feels amazing. So thank you so much for joining. If you have any other ideas that I didn't mention, please do share. I'm so happy to see Claire mentions 2 Chicago peeps. I know for a fact there's at least 5 women here from Chicago. So I'm going to start a thread asking where everyone's from so that they can find each other. And then I'm pretty sure there's going to be some alcohol-free meetups in a big city like Chicago as well. So I'll check that out as well. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so happy you're here. I hope you have the most amazing holiday. I hope it's filled with presence and joy and self-love and connection that really, really happens when you're being authentically you and feeling all of your emotions without resorting to numb them with alcohol or, you know. And if this is your first alcohol-free holiday season, I just want to say, like, add an extra dose of gratitude to everything you get to experience. When you wake up on Christmas Day, for example, feeling amazing when usually that was not the best day for you, like reflect on how powerful that is. Reflect on what meaning and just joy that can bring your life. You know, my family does a really big Christmas Eve, and so that was always the really big dinner. And my whole almost adult life had only horrible memories with Christmas Day because I was always hungover. You know, and so being able to change your story for this holiday season and really experience like the feelings of it, because you're not numbing anything about your experience. You're experiencing it all. You're fully alive. I hope you just have the most loveliest holiday. Well, no matter what you celebrate, no matter what it looks like this year, I know it's going to look different, but you know, we're all in this together, and see you next Wednesday.